You want to increase your speed and explosive power. There's one thing that you're neglecting, and that's your feet. You need to strengthen your feet, all those small intrinsic muscles, so you can produce more force, more power, and just be that game-changing, electrifying, show-stopping athlete. So we're gonna start with our foot core series. So this series works on forefoot coordination, neuromuscular control, range of motion, and it's gonna build your feet up so you can produce that power, so then you can be stronger and help reduce your injuries in your sport. Now, the first one is gonna be just 1 foot at a time. It's called the Squish and Splay. So what I'm thinking about, and if I want to use my hand as an example, is I'm trying to open up my feet as much as I can, stretch my feet out nice and wide, and then squish them together. So I open them up and I squish them back together. And I want to do 10 repetitions of this. So you're going to lift your foot up off the ground, and then you're just going to squish them and then open them up. Now, this is going to be fairly difficult for a lot of you guys that wear running shoes throughout the day, where the foot has a narrow toe box, meaning that it's squishing your foot together. So now you're not used to opening up your foot like this, because you don't want your feet to be squished up in that shoe all day. You want to be able to open them up, get as much range of motions between the toes, so then you can really open them up, just have more surface area on the ground, so you can produce that power, produce that force, really feel and grip the ground within your strength exercise, but most importantly, in your plyometric and speed movements. So drill number 2 is just gonna be big toes up. So the little toes, which is gonna be the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st toe to the outside of the big toe, we're gonna make sure that those are gripping the ground, those are driving down into the ground at all times. Now, what I also need you to think about is that you're gonna keep the inside arch of the foot, maintain that arch. You wanna keep that up. You don't wanna let that arch collapse inwards. So you don't wanna let that knee collapse inwards. This is gonna make sure that you're strengthening that arch as we keep the outside planted down. So what I want you to do is make sure your feet are right underneath your hips, dig those little toes into the ground, lift the big toe as high as possible off the ground, and then lower back down, slow with control, tap, and then right back up. So you're gonna do 10 repetitions of this. Again, maintaining the inside arch of the foot, nice and high, nice and strong without collapsing inwards. So we're gonna be placing a lot of pressure onto those 4 outside small toes. Slow, controlled, and methodical, really focusing on lowering down with control. So what you need to understand is that the first thing that's gonna hit the ground to produce that force and power is gonna be your feet. So you need to train your feet like every other muscle in your body. Just like your hands, imagine if I put a glove and I put it on your hand every single day. You're not gonna have that same sensory outputs. You're not gonna be able to strengthen your hand. And if your hand was weak, your forearms, your elbow, your shoulder, your chest, those muscles would be weak. So we need to get rid of the shoes, and we need to start strengthening your feet barefoot so we can get all those sensory outputs. We can strengthen and get that dexterity, that mobility, and all those small intrinsic muscles to fire up. So make sure that you're doing this every single day. This is gonna be vital for your success to help you reduce your injuries and really become that athlete that I know you wanna be. So drill number 3, we're just gonna reverse from big toe to the little toes up. So we're gonna dig that big toe into the ground. So what's really gonna be vital here is that you really open up your feet, and that big toe is gonna be in line with the first joint, so it's not squished in. So you're gonna open up that big toe, because we don't want that big toe turning in, giving that hammer toe, because we don't want to create disalignment. So we want that big toe to be in line with the joint. So open up that big toe. That's gonna really strengthen that arch of the foot. Once we have that big toe in line, then we're gonna drive that big toe down into the ground as hard as possible. And then we're gonna lift the little toes up and then bring them back down. Little toes up, right back down, slow, controlled, and methodical, 10 repetitions. And with each rep, you're gonna feel your toes lifting higher off the ground And you're gonna feel that big toe just starting to burn. And that's a good feeling. Lift them up high, maintaining the arch, maintaining the integrity, and getting stronger, getting more explosive as you do it. So the fifth and final drill is gonna build a little bit more coordination here. It's gonna be a little bit more challenging, but the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. So we're gonna lift all the toes up off the ground, and then you're gonna slowly just bring the big toe down only once that touches the ground, and it's nice and secure into the ground with a good maintaining of the arch. Then you're gonna lower all the little toes down. So it's all the toes up, big toe down first, then the little toes down. You're gonna do that for 10 repetitions. Once you've done that for 10, then we're gonna reverse it. We're gonna bring all the toes up, then little toes down first, and then the big toe down. So we're gonna have 20 total repetitions. 10 of just the big toe down first, followed by little toes, and then 10 of the little toes down, followed by the big toe. You notice that arch is not moving, it's not collapsing. I'm being very strong on it. My toes are lighting up right now. You're also gonna notice all these veins just lighting up and coming out. That's a good thing. That means we're really working the muscles in the feet. Everything is getting prep, prime, ready to go for your training session. Again, this takes 5 minutes to do. You do this every single day. Within about 4 to 6 weeks, you're gonna notice a huge improvement in your overall foot strength and foot health. The feet are everything. And if you build up your feet to be strong, and you can get that dexterity, that range of motion, that forefoot coordination, it's going to drastically increase your force and power, your speed, and your overall explosiveness at the highest level, especially if you can really maintain that arch from collapsing inwards. And you're gonna set the structure and the alignment all the way up the kinetic chain. Because if you have any inefficiency or any imbalances, often it's going to be seen at the foot. So if you want to help reduce any knee injuries, any hip injuries, any back injuries, strengthen your feet, strengthen those ankles, and you're going to see a huge, huge increase in your overall performance and helping you reduce your injuries. So 5 minutes a day, I guarantee over a 4 to 6 week period, you're going to see drastic results. Let's get this workout in today. Hey, what's up? You're one of the true 1%ers. You made it to the end of this video. That means you want to be a game-changing, electrifying, show-stopping athlete and separate yourself from the competition. Do me a favor. If you like this video, comment, subscribe, and like it, and share with a friend. That's going to help us grow. That's going to help you really evolve, because that means you want to help somebody else evolve and take their game to that next level. I cannot wait to see you again. Let's keep pushing for greatness together. Let's go.